Hello, Facebook world. My name is Kara Canuck, and I am with Des Moines Mom. And today we have the privilege of speaking with JannaDay. JannaDay is the state of Iowa Child Passenger Safety Coordinator, and we are going to talk a little bit about 5 tips for car seats and things to consider. We are also doing this in correlation with the giveaway that we are running for our Babes and Babies event. So how that works is we are giving away the Even Flow Every Stage car seat, which you can see that's behind Janna there. And that is a $175 value. Keep in mind that's $175 at the safety store. So that is well below the retail price. So for anybody who purchased their tickets went on sale last Thursday. So between Thursday and then this Thursday at midnight, you will be entered to win this car seat and to take it home with you. So can you just tell me a little bit about this car seat, Janna?
Sure, yeah. So this is the Even Flow Every Stage. What we really like about this car seat is that it can rear face and forward face, and it can also become a booster seat as the child really gets older. So it's kind of that all-in-one and one and done type thing. So you can get it and use it for a lot of years. And another thing that we really like about this seat is that it rear faces for kids all the way up to 50 pounds. And so it allows you to be able to rear face your child for a really long time, which we know is really important.
Okay, so that's a great segue. Obviously, you want to have a chance at winning this car seat because, I mean, when my children are a little bit older now, but yeah, I have the newborn car seat, I have the 5-point harness, and then I had the booster seats. And to have one that does all of them, that sounds really nice. So
it is nice.
I would check that out. But let's talk a little bit about rear facing. I mean, I have grandparents and like, what is the deal with that rear facing? Like, their kids, they don't want to be facing the back. Is it really that important?
Yeah. And so things have really changed over the years with car seats and just with everything, the more research that we see, the more that we know and the more that we learn. And we have found over the years that keeping a child rear facing into the 2nd year of life and even into the 3rd and beyond year of life is much safer than turning them to that forward facing position. And it has everything to do with crash dynamics. And so when we have a child rear facing, they're better able to ride down the crash forces that we experience in a crash. When 2 vehicles are coming at each other and have a crash, the crash forces are really high. So it's important for us to really be mindful of the head, neck, and spine of a young child because they're still developing. And that rear-facing position really cradles the child in a crash and allows them, like I said, to ride down the crash forces instead of their body having to work against it.
Okay. That's right. Car seats and rear facing, that is definitely something that has evolved quite a bit. Okay, so tell me a little bit about, okay, so if we have a crash, you want to make sure that everybody is safe. Let's talk a little bit about making sure that mom stays safe in that instance too.
Yep. Sometimes we're really worried about our baby and we're really worried about our child, and we don't think as much about ourselves as a caregiver. But keep in mind, as a caregiver, you need to also be buckled in the car for a lot of reasons. Number one, anybody in a vehicle that isn't seat belted in is what we call a projectile. And so in the event of a crash, anybody who's not buckled in could really move around that vehicle quite a lot and could actually injure another person. So it's really not just about yourself, it is about the other people in the vehicle too. A lot of times moms also think, I'm going to be in the back seat and I don't really need to, if I'm sitting in the back seat with my baby, I don't really need to buckle up in the back seat, but that is just not true. We really need to be buckled up at all times. And that also includes during pregnancy. Sometimes I talk to mamas who are nervous to wear that seat belt, specifically the lap belt on their body during pregnancy. But what we always recommend is if you can keep that lap belt nice and low over your hard hip bones, and then the shoulder belt comes across the center of your chest, that's ideal positioning for a seatbelt to be on you while you're pregnant or not. So it's way safer to wear your seatbelt during pregnancy than it is to not wear your seatbelt.
Well, there you go. That makes sense. I mean, you are taking the time to make sure that your child is safely and correctly fastened in. You want to make sure that you're taking the time to do the same thing for yourself too. Okay, so we are talking to parents and moms who are expecting and who are going to have newborns. Can you talk to me a little bit about like just knowing how to use your car seat before you actually have to use your car seat?
Yes. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you, the first time you use your car seat is definitely not going to, you don't want that to be when you're discharging from the hospital and you're already overwhelmed and maybe don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I need to put this squishy little newborn into a car seat that I've never touched before. And so when you do get your car seat, take it out of the box and get yourself familiar with it. Read the manual. Learn how to tighten the straps, learn how to loosen the straps, learn how the baby should sit in there. I would be obviously a big proponent of find a car seat technician that you can meet with. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
technicians aren't doing in-person checks right now because of COVID, but a lot of technicians are still doing virtual checks. And so if you find a car seat technician and just have some questions, you could meet with them virtually, or you could even have a phone call with them if you just had a couple of, things left to button up.
Mm-hmm.
But other really good resources for that would even be the manufacturer's website. So let's say, for example, you've got an Evenflow car seat like the one behind
Yeah.
me. You could go to Evenflow's website and they have installation videos there. And a lot of times they have tips for all of the seats in their line. And you can even contact their customer service and they can help you answer questions. And so that's kind of across the board for all different car seat manufacturers. They want you to install their product
Yeah.
correctly too. But like I said, if you can contact and work with the car seat technician prior to delivery, that is awesome. We usually say it's good to have a car seat installed by around 36 weeks because then you know
Yeah.
how to do it. And if you deliver, you're ready to go home.
That makes sense. Can you give me some ideas where you can get where you can connect with a car seat technician?
Yes, so I'll say we at the safety store here at the hospital, the gals that work here are all certified child
Mm-hmm.
passenger safety technicians. So you can call the safety store and ask any questions. But another really good way to find a car seat technician, regardless of where you live, is I'd recommend just Googling safe kids car seat technician.
Mm-hmm.
And that will pull up a link that will take you to a website that has where you can type in your zip code and it will pull up the certified technicians in your area.
Awesome. That sounds really smart to have done before. It's one of those things you can cross off your list and be like, okay, I did that. I
Yeah, have
can't
it done.
control I can't control so many things that go on in labor and delivery and bringing home a baby, but I can figure out how to use my car seat ahead of time.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, we live in Iowa. It is cold and it is only going to get colder.
Mm-hmm.
I am concerned about my little baby being cold in their car seat, and so I want to make sure they have something to keep them warm. But Janna, is this a good idea or is it not a good idea?
Well, we want your baby to be warm, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we also need your baby to be safe. And so
Yeah.
the best way to keep your baby safe and warm in their car seat in the wintertime is to make sure that you're taking off a big puffy coat or a big puffy snowsuit
Mm-hmm.
before you put them in the car seat. We want the baby to be in the car seat you could even utilize like a fleece sleeper if you're really worried about those super cold days.
Mm-hmm.
But we need them to be in something fairly thin. That way the harness can get as tight as it needs to be and it can do its job in a crash. The harness of a car seat is the only thing that's keeping your child in place in a crash. So you have to make sure that harness can do its job exactly how it needs to. So the harness needs to be nice and snug along the child's body.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have a big puffy coat or a big puffy snowsuit, it just makes it nearly impossible to get that harness as snug as it needs to be. even if you think it looks tight.
Mm-hmm.
What you can do, I've done this with some families so they can get kind of see just how much slack a puffy coat leaves in the harness, is go ahead and put the coat on and then put your child in the car seat and tighten that baby up so you think it's nice and tight. And then without loosening the straps, just unbuckle and take the baby out,
Mm-hmm.
take the coat off, and then put the child back in. And that is going to give you an idea of just how much excess slack is in there. Even though you thought it was tight, it is not going to be tight.
What are your thoughts and feelings about like some of the fleece like zipper things that you
Yeah.
see that can you use those, or is that not recommended either?
So generally speaking, it's going to be not recommended.
Okay.
Car seat manufacturers are very specific about there not being any additional padding or material between the child and the harness or the child and the car seat. And
Okay.
so they very specifically say, please do not add any additional puffy material or puffy clothing to the child. Now, with that being said, there are some car seat brands that might have a product that is brand specific. And in that case, I would most certainly check with the manufacturer. But generally speaking, we are not going to put anything, even the cutesy stuff that's down that aisle next to the car seats and the extra pads and the
Mm-hmm.
head supports and the zippers that go around. If you do feel strongly about having a cover over the car seat, I totally understand that. I'm a parent. I've had 2 little girls. One thing that I do kind of like would be what I would call, quote unquote, the shower cap type of cover.
Oh.
And it's the
Mm-hmm.
stretchy cover that you can kind of just stretch over the
Mm-hmm.
top of the carrier. And then when you get in the car, you can take it off. So it's not impeding anything to do with the install or use of the car seat. It's really just a cover for when you're getting out and maybe it's windy or maybe it's rainy, and it just kind of gives a little bit more protection over top.
Okay. That makes sense. I assume these like same sort of non-puffy coat guidelines for your newborn should also apply to your older kids as well.
Most definitely. And I know that's when it starts to get hard because I have school age kids, so I get it. That school drop off is really hard. Uh, when maybe they're buckled in and they need to get out of the drop off line really
Mm-hmm.
fast and it's stressful, but it applies for all ages, that we really don't want that big extra puffy coat in the car. And then even think about yourself. When you get in your car, regardless of how cold it is outside, and you have your heater on, you get hot in the car and you
Yeah.
take your coat off. But then we have a baby in the back seat who is snuggled into a car seat that's kind of warm anyway, and maybe we have them in a snowsuit and a blanket and a hat. We don't want that child to overheat in the back
Right.
either. And so best recommendations for that is that really a baby specifically, should be wearing what we're wearing plus one additional light layer. So we don't need
Okay.
to go overboard with that big puffy stuff.
All right. There you go.
There you
Back
go.
to the day. Okay, so this has all been really good. Can you tell me how to connect and tell me a little bit about like the things that are available to purchase at the official name Hannah Geneser Learning Center and Safety Store.
Yeah, the Hannah Geneser Learning Center and Safety Store has all different types of safety products. So it could be anything from home safety, so maybe cabinet locks to
Mm-hmm.
help childproof your home, to car seats, to life jackets that are behind me, bike helmets, really anything and everything that you can think of as far as safety for kids, you can find here. The
Mm-hmm.
nice thing about the safety store is that we get advocate pricing from all of our manufacturers. And so we sell everything at below retail cost. And then bonus on top of that is we are a tax-free organization, of course, as a nonprofit hospital, so you don't get charged tax on top of that. So if you're looking for a car seat, maybe you're expecting and just want to know what we have here, you can always call the safety store.
Mm-hmm.
515-241-6706 is the direct line to the safety store. They can tell you what they carry,
Mm-hmm.
and even though the safety store is currently closed to the public for in-person,
Mm-hmm.
everything can still be done over the phone and virtually. So they're still very much open to help.
Awesome. And I think I was told that like if I purchase something, we can do like drive up to get the item.
Yes, curbside pickup. Yep. So you don't even have to really get out of your car. If you
That's
just,
awesome.
you can pull up and they'll meet you outside and you can be on your way. Which
That will,
as a mom, double
yes,
thumbs up. Hmm.
right. I will say the thing that I will miss the most, after we are done with COVID and the precautions that, we have in place to keep people safe, I will miss curbside everything and like drive up.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I hope it
Okay.
stays around.
Yes.
Not COVID, but drive by pick,
Yes.
curbside pickup.
Curbside pickup, here to stay. It can be one of those lasting things that we take away from here. Okay, well, everyone, I hope that you took something away today and have some good information about car seat safety and things that you need to be thinking about and considering when you are bringing home that baby. Just a reminder, we are giving away that lovely car seat behind Janna. So make sure that you go on our website. And the giveaway is for people who purchase a ticket for Babes and Babies through Thursday at midnight. So go to Des Moines Mom and check that out and get some information. And in the meantime, thank you again so much, Janna, for your help
Yeah,
today.
thanks. See you later.
Bye.